Dr. Chow, we say hello to you. We appreciate the time as we are on the doorstep of seeing Henry make his debut back from injury. Just first and foremost, what have you observed in the practice footage since he's been back and elevated back to practice with the team?
Well, first of all, look, I know you guys are national, but also you're based in Nashville. So obviously a lot of local interest in this. And so I always like to talk about good news. And the good news is there's no question in my mind that Derrick Henry is playing this weekend, right? Yeah. So that's the good news. And I don't think anyone had any question about that. And I also believe that Derrick Henry can be very effective. He's a great running back. That's the good news. The bad news, I think it's too much to expect that you get King Henry, 30 touches, 200 yards. Look, I'm happily proven wrong. But the reason why I say that's too much to expect, look, could he go 15 for 100? I mean, and share with Foreman? Yeah, maybe. I hope so, right? But we'll see. I did get a chance as I was logging in with you guys here, and thanks for having me on, to go back and review the latest video from Turin Davenport and Jim Wyatt and Teresa Walker, the ones that I've been looking at, a practice video. And I haven't made a new video or YouTube and done formal analysis yet. But if you go back to my Twitter timeline, I'll try and put it out there. And Outkick may have even written about it using some of my quotes. He clearly is favoring his right side last week and in the limited video that we see here. To me, it's obvious it's his right foot with the stress fracture, fifth metatarsal Jones fracture. Look, he's Derrick Henry. The video you're showing right now, he's only half, three-quarter speed. He's big. He's taking contact. That's good. But there are a couple of times in there in the video, and hopefully if it shows up, I'll talk about it, where he doesn't really plant very hard on the right foot compared to the left. And look, he's going to be effective. He's going to play. But I don't believe he's anywhere near 100% at this point in time. And then the other thing is, as you mentioned in the opening correctly, this is a stress fracture. It happens from overuse. Mike Vrabel and company and the medical staff are smart. You don't take a guy with a stress fracture that got there with overuse and overuse him in his first game back, right? And so the Titans hopefully are going lots of places this year down the divisional round. So I think they'll take all that into consideration. It's going to be great to have Derrick Henry back, but let's temper expectations from his, oh my God, greatness. But let me tell you, 85% of Derrick Henry, anyone would have in their backfield.
Is it too simple, or maybe it's just dumb of me to assume that based on what you're saying, and I watched your video, and we'll retweet it because it was very good, and it was based on previous practice observations, not the one from today.
Last week, yes, last week,
right.
Not this week.
But is it too easy to presume that we should expect runs to the left side of the line, based off of what you're saying?
Well, I think that's possible that they may favor that. But remember, be it the stuff that I put out there or the video that you see, the other team gets to see it too, right? So, I mean, can you really just be one-sided? I mean, I don't want to get in the head of Mike Vrabel and company. I think he's an excellent coach. I've had the fortune of knowing him a little bit, and he's going to have all that worked out, and we'll see. But I can tell you, if you go back and look at all the runs in the videos, when he runs the left and that outside foot is the left foot, he makes a much more definitive cut than on the right foot. And do you guys notice it too? I mean, when I pointed out?
No. So I didn't notice it. Paul, who's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame selection committee meeting right now, he can't make the show, but he pointed this out yesterday. He was like, you need to go check out Pro Football Doc, because we had observed this. We were playing video that Paul brought back on the show. And, just to us, it looks like, look, he looks like he's doing what he would do in training camp, right? Like the same type of drills and everything. And it left us extremely optimistic. And then he said, you need to go check out what Dr. Chow put, because based on what he's explaining, you can actually see it where he's favoring the right foot over the left. And I had not noticed it until you pointed it out.
It's subtle.
It is.
And he's great, right? I mean, he's unbelievably fantastic. But this is the NFL. And if you guys remember, this spring, I forget the date, there was all this optimism about Bud Dupree and his ACL this summer. And we went over video, and fans and everyone said, look at how great Bud Dupree looks. And I'm like, no, I think he's favoring his knee tremendously. And if you go back, and I try and follow the entire league, I think you could agree that Bud Dupree's last few games have been a lot better than his first few.
Much better.
Right? He's rounded into form. And that's all I was saying. And, even though Bud Dupree looked great, that's not anywhere near 100%. And he was going to have a slow start to the year.